What's up, sports fans? My name is Jake and welcome back to Game Day Eats. This week we have the Washington Redskins marching into New Orleans to take on the Saints. I also had the tough call to choose between beignets and gumbo, and having a weakness for sweets didn't help, but I ultimately made the decision to go with the Creole gumbo. Really, there is no wrong way to go here, so in another episode, we're definitely tackling the beignets. So sit back and relax. This is Game Day Eats. Let's just go ahead and jump into the recipe and some juicy history. For the roux, we need a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of flour. For the gumbo, we're gonna need 5 tablespoons of butter, 1 chopped onion, a half green pepper chopped, 2 stalks of celery chopped, 3 cloves of garlic minced, 1 cup of tomato diced, 1 pound of okra sliced, the half cup of roux, 2 tablespoons of a Creole seasoning, 2 bay leaves, 2 quarts of water, 1 pound of shrimp, cooked and deveined, a half pound of crab meat, and 2 to 3 cups of cooked rice. Now here are some fun facts. This is a standard gumbo recipe, and you can substitute the shrimp and crab with any type of seafood or meat. If you use frozen okra, make the whole recipe and add it in at the end, otherwise the okra gets too soft and falls apart. Now I just mentioned that we're making a Creole gumbo, and that's important because of the fact that there are a few ways to make a true gumbo. The 2 most well-known ways are Creole and Cajun. Creole has combinations traditional to New Orleans and Southeast Louisiana, and is known by that name because of the Louisiana Creole people, who are descendants of French and Spanish settlers. Cajun combinations are common in southwestern Louisiana, which was populated primarily by Cajuns, descendants of the French-speaking settlers from Acadia in the mid-18th century. Acadia is located within the modern-day Canada provinces of Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, for those who are wondering. During the 1970s, gumbo was mainly popular around the Gulf Coast of the United States. It would gain a wider popularity after the death of U.S. Senator Allen Ellender, who is a native of Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. He often cooked up some gumbo for his peers, which included 5 presidents. After he died in 1972, the Senate directed their cafeteria to add the Louisiana Creole gumbo to their menu in his honor. Our beer of choice comes from the Abita Brewing Company, which brewed 1,500 barrels of beer in its inaugural year of 1986. They produce 7 year-round flagship brews, 5 seasonal beers, 3 harvest brews, 4 big beers, a draft-only series of select beers, and also a root beer for when you want your kids and their friends to join in and watch your favorite team play. So the gumbo has been going on for about 6 hours now, and it is finally finished, and we have our wonderful purple haze ready for tasting as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in. I need more. Okay, that's amazing. So let's see what New Orleans has to offer with their beer choices. It's like a voodoo magic all up in my stomach. The Washington Redskins head into the Bayou looking for win number 3 of the young season. This is also the first time since 2011 that Kirk Cousins is not on the roster for this Washington team, and they seem not to have really noticed. Alex Smith came in and has been his old reliable self, as any former number 1 overall draft selection should be. Their passing attack is exactly what you would expect from a Smith-led offense, averaging 245 yards per game. The big story is the resurgence of running back Adrian Peterson, who is on pace to do well in the 2-back system the Redskins are using. Peterson is used to being the mule for his team, so having him rested each time he runs could mean big things for the scoreboard. The defensive side of the ball has emerged as a powerhouse by ranking in the top 3 for total defense and total passing yards allowed per game. The stout defense paired with an offense that takes care of the ball has led them to be the sole owners of the first place in their division. Watch out NFC East fans, they might be able to take the division despite their crazy owner. The New Orleans Saints seem to be a team that doesn't want you to figure them out, and it seems to be working because they've been able to overcome an embarrassing loss to the Bucs in week 1 and an almost even more embarrassing loss/tie to the Browns in week 2. Since then, Drew Brees has been wildly inconsistent by having a career day against the Falcons in week 3 and then not throwing for touchdowns against the Giants in week 4. With the seesaw patterning starting to unfold, it seems that this is the week he could unleash a monster game. We just talked about how the Redskins have the 3rd best passing defense in the league right now, so they may have something to say about it. The Saints defense has been been outmatched against their divisional rivals, but they seem to do very well against teams they don't play twice a year. Maybe they can hold the already conservative Alex Smith to less than 260 yards, just as they did with Tyrod Taylor and Eli Manning. We'll see. With my first win of the season, I'm now feeling really good about myself. The score was off, but a victory is a victory, so let's get down to it. I have this burning feeling in my gut that Drew Brees is going to manage to pull off a victory for the home crowd and get the record for most passing yards in a career tonight. Actually, that might be the Creole Spices fighting the Purple Haze. Anyway, I'm taking the New Orleans Saints to win this matchup against the Redskins by a score of 28-21, and it's time for more gumbo. Week 5 has been extra spicy, so make sure to stay in the loop and catch its new episode airing this Thursday. Subscribe and watch next week as we stay in the NFC South and head over to Atlanta, where the Falcons will try to protect their nest against the Giants, and we make fried chicken sliders. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the field.